Why don't you and I tell the first time you and I worked creatively together? Because my first film was SOMM. And so when was the first time that you and I started working creatively? And how the hell did you get into wine, which is maybe even more wild of a story than me?
Well, we've kind of always worked together on goofy stuff and talked about ideas and this and that, but we started working sort of professionally in 2014 when you reached out and asked if I could do a couple pieces of art. No guarantees that it'll make it in. Is this about what you're talking about?
Yeah, Into the Bottle, I think. Is that where we?
Yeah, you reached out and said, "Hey,
start?
yeah." You said, "Hey, I think you could do this. I'm not guarantee it's going to work. I don't know if I necessarily once again want to work with my brother. You've been adamant about this for years, but it's like one of those things I think you're capable of." And I was a manager at a grooming salon at the time. I was grooming dogs. I literally was like, "Can you guys handle this down? I gotta go. I gotta leave. I gotta go do something." I left half day, went and bought an animation table, and literally animated that scene, sent it to you guys, and kind of just started from there. Really exciting. And then you just put it up to the whole team and just said, "Hey, we're going to do a vote if we're actually going to kind of have you work with everybody, and I'm going to stay out." And that's everyone, I guess, voted, and everyone was happy, and we've been working together ever since. For the most part, pretty awesome, you know.
Well, the interesting thing is, so you're like Edward Scissorhands when he's grooming dogs. I love the idea that you were a dog groomer,
Mm-hmm.
and I pulled you in. You've always done pen and ink stuff, but what you're referring to is the animation sequence that was done in Into the Bottle, where Noah plants a vine, lands on Mount Ararat, plants a vine, and then gets naked and drunk in his tent, essentially, which is what happens.
We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun laughing with that.
Yeah, and it's all hand drawn. So one thing to say is all of the art that you do is hand done. It's all done with pen and ink. It's all done with paint. It's all done in real media. So it's not done with like a digital pen or in Photoshop or any of that stuff, which I think is crazy because it's probably a lot more work. And I want to, before we get into some of the art and the stuff that you make, why would you do it that way? Why not just use Photoshop?
I guess I don't want to stare at a screen all day. If I'm staring at a screen, I want to be playing video games, to tell you the truth. Like, I really don't. We grew up drawing. I grew up looking at comic books. I drew up physical media, and it's a big deal to me. And then eventually when I went to college, the thing that put it in stone was I was going to school for, I'll just say art. That really was more technical, but they were telling us that you have to sit at you have to do graphic design. You have to look at a computer. You got to learn how to do logos. You will not last in this upcoming world. Keep in mind, this is in 2004 or 5. And I hated it. I was absolutely miserable and just sitting there and learning the beginnings of Illustrator and doing all this stuff. I was in school for like 2.5 years. I left early. I didn't completely finish that. And my friends stuck around. The kids I went to college with stuck around, finished their degrees. And I'm the only one. Well, I've had a very lucky, fortunate situation, no question. I will never deny that. But I'm the only one that's working in art. And I just stuck with drawing on paper and working on with those physical mediums because that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do.